Have you ever felt that you understand English, but when it's time to speak, your mind suddenly goes blank? You know the words, you know the grammar, but still speaking feels difficult, slow, and confusing. This happens to many English learners, and the reason is very simple. Most people think in their native language first, then try to translate everything into English. This translation process takes time, and because of that, speaking does not feel natural or fluent. In this video, I want to share one of the most powerful and effective techniques to improve your English speaking. This technique is called Think in English. When you start thinking in English, your speaking becomes faster, smoother, and more confident. You don't feel stuck, you don't panic, and you don't search for words again and again. Don't worry, this technique is very simple and anyone can learn it. You don't need advanced vocabulary. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need the right method and daily practice. So stay with me till the end of this video, because step by step I will explain what think in English really means, why translation is the biggest problem in English speaking, and how you can start thinking in English in your daily life. So let's begin now. Let's understand why translation is the biggest problem in English speaking. When you want to say something in English, what usually happens? First, you think in your native language. Then you try to change those words into English. After that, you think about grammar. And finally, you speak. This process looks normal, but actually it slows your brain down, because your brain is doing too many things at the same time. It thinks, translates, checks grammar, and searches for words. That's why you pause a lot. You say, or you stop in the middle of a sentence. This is also the reason why you feel confident in your mind, but not confident while speaking. Now, think about this. When you speak your native language, do you translate? No, you just think, and the words come out naturally. Fluent English speakers do the same thing. They do not translate from another language. They think directly in English. That is why their speaking feels fast, smooth, and natural. So the problem is not your vocabulary. The problem is not your grammar. The real problem is this translation habit. And here is the good news. This habit can be changed. Once you stop translating and start thinking in English, your speaking will automatically become easier. Now, the question is, what does think in English actually mean? Does it mean using difficult words? Does it mean thinking in perfect grammar? So let's clearly understand what think in English really means. Many learners feel scared when they hear this technique. They think, my English is weak. How can I think in English? But don't worry, this is not what you are thinking. Thinking in English does not mean thinking in long sentences. It does not mean using difficult words, and it does not mean thinking in perfect grammar. Thinking in English means thinking in simple ideas, just like a child. For example, when you see a cup of tea, you don't need to think, this is a hot beverage prepared with milk and tea leaves. You simply think, tea, hot tea, I want tea. This is thinking in English. Your brain understands ideas first, not grammar rules. Fluent speakers don't think about tenses or sentence structure. They think about meaning, and words come naturally. Another important point is this. Thinking in English is also about images and feelings, not only words. If you are hungry, you don't need a full sentence in your mind. You may just think, hungry, food, I need food. That is completely okay. So remember this clearly. Thinking in English is simple, natural, and imperfect. You are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to think in broken English, because fluency comes before accuracy. Now the question is, how can you start thinking in English in your daily life? Let's talk about that step by step. Now the most important rule is this. Start small. Do not try to think in English all day from the first day. That will only make you tired and frustrated. Begin with your daily routine. When you wake up in the morning, try to say simple things in your mind, like, I wake up, I feel sleepy, I need water. These are very easy sentences, but they are very powerful. When you brush your teeth, think, I brush my teeth, mint taste, fresh. When you eat food, think, rice, chicken, very tasty. You don't need full sentences every time. Even single words or short phrases are enough. One more important thing, avoid translating in your head. If you don't know an English word, don't search for it in your native language. Instead, use simple English you already know. For example, if you don't know the word appointment, you can think meeting with doctor. This keeps your brain inside English, not outside. If you practice this daily, even for 5 to 10 minutes, your brain will slowly get used to English. And one day, you will notice something amazing. English words will come to your mind automatically. So remember, fluent English speaking does not come from memorizing grammar rules or learning thousands of new words. It comes from training your mind. If you keep translating in your head, English will always feel slow and difficult. But when you start thinking in English, even in a very simple way, your speaking starts to feel natural. So don't wait to become perfect. Don't wait to feel confident. Start now with small steps. Think in English when you wake up. Think in English during your daily routine. Think in English even if your sentences are broken, because broken English is much better than no English. If you practice this technique every day, you will slowly see the change. Your pauses will reduce, your confidence will grow, and speaking English will stop feeling scary. If this video helped you, keep practicing this technique daily. And if you want more simple and practical English speaking lessons, make sure to subscribe to Learn English Audiobook. I'll see you in the next video.